There's a moment on the path of self-discovery that can feel like a bright, clear dawn. After a period of confusion or pain, you find a book, a new practice, or a sudden insight that clicks everything into place. The fog seems to lift. For the first time, you feel like you have a map for the territory of your own soul. You feel powerful, clear, and certain. And in this beautiful sunlit moment of clarity, a subtle trap can sometimes appear. It's a very human experience, a phase that so many of us pass through on our journey inward. We begin to feel that not only do we have our map, but that we have the map. We feel we've reached the destination, when really, we've only just found a reliable compass. Carl Jung had a name for this delicate and very human experience. He called it ego inflation. It's not about arrogance in the way we usually think of it. It's not about being loud or boastful. It's quieter, more refined, and far more deceptive. Imagine the ego, our sense of I, as a small balloon. The journey of growth, of spiritual insight, is meant to fill that balloon with just enough air to help us navigate the world with confidence and a healthy sense of self. But with ego inflation, the balloon doesn't just fill up, it gets overinflated. It's stretched thin with newfound knowledge, with powerful spiritual experiences, or with the feeling of having healed a major wound. The ego gets carried away. It tastes a drop of wisdom and thinks it has swallowed the entire ocean. It mistakenly identifies itself with the vast, profound wisdom of the self, that deep, quiet, eternal part of you. The little balloon starts to believe it is the sky itself. And the danger of this is not that it makes you a bad person. The danger is that it quietly, gently stops your growth in its tracks. It builds a beautiful invisible cage and convinces you it's a throne. So, how can we spot this in ourselves with compassion and without judgment? There are a few quiet whispers to listen for. The first is a subtle loss of curiosity. When we feel we have the answers, we stop asking questions. We might listen to a friend's problem, not with an open heart, but with an internal list of solutions we are waiting to offer. We read a new book not to learn something new, but to find confirmation for what we already believe. The world, which was once a place of infinite mystery, becomes a place that simply validates our own understanding. The wonder starts to fade. Another sign is a kind of emotional brittleness. The inflated ego looks strong, but it's incredibly fragile. Because it's stretched so thin, it can be punctured by the smallest pinprick of criticism or a differing opinion. If someone doesn't agree with your newfound truth, it can feel like a personal attack. There's a quiet defensiveness. Instead of thinking, that's an interesting perspective, we might think, they just don't get it. This fragility is a sign that our sense of self is built on the shaky ground of being right, rather than the solid ground of our authentic being. And perhaps the most profound sign is a growing sense of separation.
True wisdom connects us more deeply to others, to nature, to the beautiful, messy reality of being human. Ego inflation does the opposite. It places us on a small, lonely pedestal of special understanding. It creates a subtle divide between me, who understands, and them, who do not. We might even feel a kind of quiet pity for others who are still struggling with things we feel we have overcome. This is the loneliest part of the journey, because true healing happens in connection, in the shared vulnerability of our humanity. Recognizing this in yourself is not a cause for shame. It's a profound opportunity. It is a sign that you have journeyed far enough to face one of the most important tests of the path, the test of humility. Healing from ego inflation isn't about crushing the ego or feeling bad about yourself. It's about helping that overinflated balloon release its air gently so it can return to its right and healthy size. So, how do we do that? We can start by consciously re-embracing the role of the student, to remember that the wisest people are often the ones who are most aware of how much they don't know. To find joy in the phrase, "I don't know, but I'm curious." This opens us back up to the magic of the world and the wisdom in others. Everyone, truly everyone, has something to teach us. Another path is to ground ourselves in the simple, earthy reality of our lives. The ego loves to float in the abstract realms of ideas and theories. Humility is found in the soil. It's found in doing the dishes, in feeling the rain on your face, in listening to the birds, in doing simple work with your hands. These things remind us that we are not just minds. We are bodies. We are creatures of this earth, part of a vast and interconnected web of life. It's hard to feel superior when you're pulling weeds or folding laundry. There is a deep, quiet wisdom in these humble tasks. Jung once said, "The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it." And what I believe he meant by that for you and me is that building a sense of self is crucial. But the real, deep, soulful work begins when you learn to let that self be a humble servant to something greater, to love, to truth, to our connection with the whole. It's about letting the ego become a clear window through which the light of your true self can shine, rather than a mirror that only reflects its own image. This journey isn't a race to a finish line called enlightenment. It's a slow, beautiful, and sometimes difficult dance of opening, learning, and letting go. Finding that you've been caught in the trap of the inflated ego is not a failure, it's a graduation. It means you are ready for a deeper, more authentic, and more connected chapter of your journey home to yourself. What helps you stay grounded and humble on your own path? I would be so honored to read your thoughts in the space below. Thank you for sharing this time with me today. Remember that your journey is your own, and it is unfolding perfectly, even in its challenges. May your journey inward bring you light.